So 5a. Two particles. Ooh, there we go. Haven't seen that for a while. Instead of one particle, now it says two. Shouldn't really change my thinking very much, so just keep reading. Move along the x-axis. The position of particle P at time t is given by this formula. So x sub p of t is this formula. That's my position of particle P. Well, read slow and careful. The velocity of particle Q is given by this. Particle Q is at position 5 at time 0. So I should write that down. The position of particle Q when the time is 0 is 5. Don't get it backwards. From time 0 to 8, when is particle P, that's this one, moving left? So I have to remember particle P is moving left when the velocity of particle P is negative. So I'm looking to see when this is negative. So I have to start with my equation for the position of particle P, and I've got to find the derivative. So this is the natural log of something. The derivative of the natural log of something is 1 over the something. So that means my velocity of particle P at time t will equal 1 over the something multiplied by the d over, again, doing it in terms of t, so this has got to be d over dt of that something. But this derivative is just 2t subtract 2. So now I get my formula for v of p would be 1 over t squared subtract 2t plus 10 multiplied by, I like parenthesis better, 2t subtract 2. But when fractions multiply, it's top times top, bottom times bottom. So you could say this is really the same as 2t subtract 2 over t squared minus 2t plus 10. So that's my v of p. I've got to figure out when v of p is negative. Figure out when v of p is negative. When you have a fraction, it makes it easier because you can analyze the top and bottom separately. I would have thought to factor the bottom, but it doesn't factor. So I really had to just think about what's happening between time 0 to 8. And I think if I plug in 0, the value will be 10. So that's positive. If I plug in 8, 8 squared is 64, minus 2 times 8 is 16, so that's positive. If I plugged in 1, 1 squared, 2 times 1 plus 10, that's going to be 1 subtract 2 plus 10. That's positive. This is kind of tedious. I just don't know a faster way to do it. If I plug in 2 squared minus 2 times 2, that's going to be 10 itself. So that's positive. I guess I should look for a trend. Let's make a little quick table here. This is the point where I might move on to the next problem because I feel like I'm stalling a little bit. T and this denominator thing, I don't know what else to call it. Let's rewrite that. So I'm doing this table thing here. I'm trying to figure out what's happening. I've got this expression here for t, and I've got this other expression, x squared minus 2t plus 10. So I know that when time is 0, I get 10 here. When time was 1, I got 9. When time was 2, I got 10 again. So this is a parabola, and it looks like the parabola has turned. It's heading back up. So when I plug in 3, 3 squared is 9. 2 times 3 is 6. 9 minus 6 is 3, plus 10 would be 13. So yes, the parabola is headed back up. So that means this is always positive for times greater than 0. So I just have to pay attention to what this is doing. Whew. So let's go look at that. This would be, I would have skipped this problem. I would have got started, then I would have skipped. And I would have gotten the 1 point for finding the derivative. That went pretty easily. It was the rest that got hard. Paying attention to this, probably need a sign chart of that. So we've got 2t subtract 2. I'm going from time 0 to time 8. So when time is equal to 1, this is 0, because 2 times 1 would be 2 minus 2 is 0. So then I plug in 8, I'm definitely going to get positive. If I plug in 0, I'm definitely getting negative. So now I know the answer. The denominator of my velocity formula is always positive. The numerator is negative between time 0 and time 1. So that's why I wrote down that. 1 point for getting that answer. They didn't ask for justification, so you didn't have to explain anything. You just had to come up with the right interval that the particle is moving left during this time. I found that to be quite a bit of work to get that 1 point.